Hello gorgeous, welcome back to my channel. Hello if you're new, click the subscribe button. I would love for you guys to be a part of my family. Today is going to be another story time, and I've been doing a lot of story times on my channel lately. As you can tell, I've been having fun with it, and I will link my playlist down below of a bunch of different stories. I have a lot of funny stories, dating horror stories, but today is going to be definitely a more serious story. I'm going to be talking about my high school experience, why everyone hated me at my high school, kind of like my bullying story. I did one of these a few years back, but there were some things that I was kind of not sharing, and I feel like it is time for me to be honest and share my experience, because I know people go through this every single day, and if it can either one, help someone relate and know that they're not alone, or two, just be able to stop someone or make someone rethink the words that they're sharing to someone else, then I know that this was worth sharing my story and this was important for me to get out there. If you guys have been through a similar situation or you're currently going through it, you can always message me on my Instagram. My Instagram's at NicolettaXOYT, so feel free. This, I'm sure, is going to be a long one. I'm going to be sharing a lot of things that I haven't shared before, because I just honestly tried to forget about these things and push it to the back of my head, and I've been really scared to. So please stay tuned and listen to the entire story. Things like this happen every single day, unfortunately. It did really affect my self-confidence. It affected a lot of things mentally, and I carried that along with me for many, many years. And I want people to know that it really does matter what you say to others, and it can lead to the worst possible thing, which I'm sure you guys know. It happens every single day to so many young teenagers and people in general that are struggling with depression. I think I'm ready to do this. Hopefully, if this is up, I had the courage to do it, but I just want to share my story. Let's rewind this back to young old, what does that even mean? Let's rewind this back to young Nicoletta when I was in elementary school. That is what we call it here in Canada, elementary school. You stay in elementary all the way until you're 13 years old, then you move on to high school. In elementary school, I was definitely a really shy girl. I wasn't very shy when I was at home with my family and people I knew and loved and was close to. I was definitely very loud and had my opinions and sassy, but in school I was very shy around people, and I'm still a very shy person when around new people. I'm definitely very quiet when I'm not familiar with people, and that's just kind of always been me. Totally, you know, my age, I didn't really speak to boys. I was really shy around them, you know, boys have cooties. I was just your typical 11, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, and I didn't have many friends really ever because I was so shy and I wasn't someone to really put myself out there. But now we're gonna fast forward into high school. So entering high school in grade 9, I feel like every single girl has these expectations, thinking it's gonna be this amazing thing. You're going to meet all these people and have so many friends. I feel like that's what all the movies would show when I was growing up, and the movies that I loved watching. So I was actually really excited to start new and start in high school. And boy, was I wrong, because high school brought me so many issues and it made me so depressed. I struggled a lot in high school. When going into high school, I definitely was becoming into the person I was meant to be, and I was becoming more confident in myself and more secure with myself. I started to wear makeup for the first time, and I started to socialize a little bit more with people. I was definitely had my opinions and my values and my morals, and no one was about to change that about me, and no one was about to convince me otherwise. So my beliefs, I was genuinely believed in them, and I would not stray from them. I met a few new girls in high school that I became friends with, and at the beginning I was really enjoying it because it was something different. I was starting to talk to a lot of people. I started to talk to different boys in my school. which was something, like I said, so new to me because in elementary I was kind of like an awkward little shy girl. So it was very different for me, but I noticed that's the time I started to get attention from boys. You know, you're going through puberty and you're growing up, and I feel like that's the time things start to happen where you may end up liking a boy, and all this stuff comes out in high school, this drama. Unfortunately, really early on into my high school experience, right in grade 9 when I was 14 years old, something happened. There was this guy who we're gonna call him Ian. So Ian is in my high school. He's this boy that was dating this girl who we will call Rachel. Rachel was in the popular group, and Ian was dating her. They were boyfriend and girlfriend, and my best friend in high school actually knew Ian from elementary school. He's always been a flirt and a player and just talking to literally every single girl and trying to hit on them. That was Ian, and that is what pretty much happened. Ian and I met in school, probably from class or something, where I met him through someone else. You know, you meet everyone in your grade in high school, and he really started to hit on me, flirt with me, and just like compliment me. And personally, I was not interested in Ian. Like I said, at this point, I've never even had a boyfriend, yet alone like boys talking to me was very new for me. And I was just not interested in Ian in that way to ever want anything from him. He was just not my type, you know? I was young. I didn't even know what a boyfriend really was, to be honest. But Rachel really took note of that and did not like that Ian would try to talk to me in school. Maybe he said something to someone where he said I was like cute or something, and that got to her. I have no idea because it kind of came out of nowhere for me. I didn't really think anything of it. But pretty much one day, Rachel wanted to fight me, and Rachel made me go outside in high school, like the front of our high school. And I remember I went outside with my best friend, and she had like 15 of her girls there and people, and she wanted to fight me against all her friends. I have never been in that kind of situation, and I just did not understand because I did not like Ian. I'm not about to fight someone over a guy that I don't even like. And I wouldn't even fight any girl or woman over a guy. That's just not me. I will never be that type of person. Basically, she confronted me outside wanting to fight me, and I pretty much told her that like, I don't like Ian, we're not together, there's nothing between us, like you can have him, he's your boyfriend, like I don't want anything to do with that, and I never have. She kind of laid off, and finally like we ended up just separating, and we didn't end up fighting, thankfully, because I was not about to have a fight in school. And I just remember being so scared and just so uncomfortable because all these people were against me over something that I didn't even do or like anything I did. I remember after that whole situation with Rachel and the popular girls, I say in quotes because what is a popular girl? I don't know. So when I ended up leaving that day, I didn't even know what to think. I was actually really scared to go back to school the next day. I didn't want to go, but I obviously had to. And actually Rachel and her friends, one of her friends was in my class, and she talked to me and was nice to me, and they were all nice to me for like a couple days, and then after that, then I guess they changed their mind. They ended up being extremely just rude to me. When I walked down the hallways and they were there, I felt uncomfortable. They would talk crap behind my back. I would hear them whispering about me and saying rude stuff, and I just never felt like safe or felt in place at my high school after that time. And like I said, that was like literally at the beginning of grade 9, so when I was 14 years old, all the way until I graduated high school, I felt so uncomfortable, and I just had to keep pushing through basically those 4 years and acting as if I didn't care. But obviously it was really difficult for me, and it really did affect me behind closed doors. I would come home every single week pretty much, and I would cry myself to sleep all the time, and I just remember wishing and praying that it would just end and everything would stop, but it just never did. Since that time that happened to me in grade 9, I was branded as someone that went around, to say it lightly, in my high school. So that is when the rumors started. That's when the rumors started that I was going with every single guy possible in my school. I was just the easy person for a guy to say they went with, or for girls to make up rumors that I went with this person. Mind you, I never even had my first kiss. I never even had a boyfriend at this point. And I'm being branded as the girl that sleeps around in school. And it made me feel horrible because that just was not me, and I didn't want people to think all those things about me. I heard rumors that I would go with guys in classrooms when no one was there. I would go with people in the back of the forest in my school. The rumors were honestly just disgusting, and I don't even want to repeat some of them because they're so bad and they make me so emotional. The rumors got so bad to the point that my mom heard about it from another school. That's how much the rumors were traveling around in my town. I just felt horrible, but I knew that I had to pretend like I was confident and act like I was okay, because I didn't want to give these people the satisfaction that it really did affect me. I was called all these types of names. I was called a B, I was called a slut, I was called ugly and fat, and just everything you could pick apart. They picked apart everything they saw of me, and they would make fun of everything and just say it around their friends and guys in the school. It's crazy because I never had conversations with these people in my school. Other than that, those little parts, like 2-minute conversations, they've never talked to me through 4 years of high school. Like, they never got to know me. They don't know anything about me. And a lot of the times, luckily, I did not end up in classrooms with them. I had a few times throughout the 4 years, but not too much, which I was always so happy about. I always just didn't want to be around them because of everything that they were saying about me. When I was in high school, Facebook was the biggest form of social media that everyone used. Everyone would just have everyone on Facebook, even though you're not really friends with them, but you would still have them on your Facebook friends list. And at the time that Facebook was such a big thing, there was this thing called, I believe it was called Forum Spring, but I could be getting it wrong. But pretty much what it was is everyone did it in my high school. All you would do is you would like add it to your Facebook, and your Facebook friends that you have on your list would write something in it, and you would receive the message, but it would be sent anonymously. That's a tongue twister. You would get a message, but you wouldn't see who it was from. But the only people that could send you those messages were just people from your Facebook. I don't know why I would put this and why I would do this, but everyone in my high school is doing it, so I put one up for me, and I was just getting messages upon messages, like 20, 30 a day, calling me every single name. The words were just so bad, I can't even repeat them on YouTube. I'll get flagged. I would cry all the time, and I don't even know why I did that to myself. That was just, I don't know why I would do that. But I guess everyone was doing that, and at the time when you're in high school, you want to fit in, you want to do what everyone else is doing. I think at the time, if I remember correctly, that it did tell you if it was a girl or a boy, and all my comments that were all these rude comments were coming from girls. And I knew that the people that wrote these messages are people from my Facebook friends, and I had Rachel and all those girls on my Facebook. This next part is really hard for me to talk about, and whenever I talk about my high school experience, I never ever would bring this up, and because I tried to push this in the back of my head, and I tried to forget about it, and I didn't really know what to do when I was in high school. Looking back, it's just not right, and this stuff happens so much, and I'm so thankful that in today's generation, we're talking a lot more about these things, and it's a lot more, people are a lot more aware, and people are aware with what's right or wrong, and that these things are not okay and should not be tolerated. Oh my god, I'm literally sweating because this just makes me feel so uncomfortable. So when I was 14 and 15 years old, so grade 9 and 10, when I used to walk down the halls of my high school, and this would sometimes happen on a daily basis, there was a group of guys in my high school that were seen as the popular guys that were kind of in the group with those girls. They would come, and every single time like I would walk by, they would come out of nowhere, or they would run and hit me from behind and touch me inappropriately and then run away. And that happened to me a lot in high school. It happened to me sometimes every single day for a lot of times, and I just remember feeling so violated and so embarrassed, and I didn't know what to do and who to tell. And I feel like in situations like that, you don't know how you're gonna react until you're in those situations. And I definitely was someone that kept it in and wouldn't tell, and I would cry when I would come home all the time because I felt so violated and so disgusting and so disgusted that these guys would do that to me, and I would tell them to stop and they wouldn't. And there was even, I remember this one time, there was this one guy in my grade, and I'm just talking to my friends, and all of a sudden he runs so fast, he hits me from behind, and then he runs away so fast before I even could turn around. And his guy friends knew what he was gonna do. I guess it was like a dare, and they started laughing. And then these other girls called me really rude names to me when that happened and called me a slut. And I just felt so embarrassed, and I just wanted to disappear. Like, I just didn't even want to be existing anymore. I remember it got really bad. I would feel really depressed when I would come home. I just remember at that point, like, I didn't even want to exist, and I was just so sick and tired of it. I kept telling these people to stop, and they wouldn't stop. And it was really, really difficult for me, and it was just so inappropriate and disgusting, and that stuff is just disgusting. And it just makes me sad to think that I even had to deal with that, and to think that I felt like I couldn't tell no one. And I knew it was wrong what people were doing to me, but I just didn't. I was getting made fun of and laughed at, and I was called names from girls, and I just always blamed myself. And that is just not okay, because it was never ever my fault, and no one deserves that. That happened to me for those 2 years, and the only reason it stopped for the rest of my high school when I was in grade 11, 12, so 16 and 17 years, is because this guy came to my school, and I ended up dating him, and we ended up hitting it off, I guess, you know, as teenagers, and I ended up liking him, he liked me. And before we actually dated, Rachel and her friends went up to him and said, like, don't date her, she's ugly, she's disgusting, she's this and that. My ex told me at the time, but nonetheless, we still ended up dating. He still, like, asked me to be his girlfriend, and we were dating for the last 2 years of high school. And to be honest, that relationship alone was toxic and probably shouldn't have happened. But I think also in the back of my mind, and why I felt more secure being with him, was that I stopped getting touched inappropriately and hit when I would walk down the halls and stuff from those guys. They completely stopped once I started dating my ex, and I felt like that was the main reason why I probably stayed in it when I knew we weren't really good for each other. I tried to forget that time, and I tried to tell myself it's fine, it's nothing, but it's not nothing. It was honestly really hard for me, and it's not okay for that to happen to anyone. And that was pretty much my entire experience at high school. I just had to deal with that for the 4 years that I was in high school. I just would pray every single day to graduate, and I can't wait to move on and go into university and move on from this and never have to see them again. And thankfully, I don't ever see them, and time has passed so much now. Like I said in one of my story times, there was a situation after high school that they still managed to do something. So now that we're graduated and I don't have to deal with any of those people anymore, I was in university. At this point, I was in second year. So this is 2 years after I graduated high school. And Jess and I used to always get together and go out and have fun. And I met so many friends in university and kind of had that life I envisioned that I would have in high school. And we would get together and get all dressed up and take photos and post it on Facebook and Instagram, and we would do silly poses. And we used to do this one pose where we would turn around and we put like peace signs, and it would show our back, and we'd go like this, and it was like our signature every single night. We did it like as a joke, and we do it all the time for fun. And one day I ended up going online, and I still had those girls, I guess, on my Facebook, and I saw them post a photo that was mocking me and my best friend Jessica from university, and they wrote like this really nasty caption. At that point, obviously, it's like 2 years later and they're going out themselves, and that's the first thing they talk about. It just shows what kind of people they are. That's the last interaction I pretty much have. I have seen some of those girls look at my Instagram, even though they're not following me on my Instagram. Now I have a totally new like Instagram and Facebook because of my YouTube. I don't have like my old Facebook anymore, and also my Instagram, I use my YouTube Instagram, so I have actually caught them a couple times over the years looking at my stuff. It's funny too because some of those same girls that honestly were the worst to me in that group, that did so much to me and bullied me and said all those rumors and nasty things about me, are now moved on, and you know, they're married and have kids, and now they're trying to talk about anti-bullying and people shouldn't be bullies and all this kind of stuff when they were those bullies. So it's kind of funny in full circle how things work in the world and how they're trying to advocate all this anti-bullying, yet they were bullies and they didn't even see any problem with anything they did and didn't realize that it affects people what you say to them. I like to think, you know, bullies, they must be going through something to be that horrible to say certain things and do certain things to people. But at the same time, not only may the bully may be going through something, but these bullies don't realize that maybe the person you're bullying is going through something. Because I know for myself, I was going through a lot of stuff in high school, and having all of that, and on top of being a teenager and just growing up, it was horrible for me, and I was going through so much that it could have led really, really bad. If I did not have my friends at that time and I couldn't be open to my friends, I'm telling you, I would have had a way different outcome because I was so depressed and did not see the light at the end of the tunnel. I did not think that it would have became better because I was in high school and I thought, you know, it's the end of the world and this is gonna be my life forever, but it's not. Time honestly changes everything and heals all, and you'll move on and you won't have to see those people. It made me very insecure and not like myself, and it made me also always be insecure to what people say about me. I just want you guys to know that a lot of people are going through things that you don't even know. When I was in high school, that was the time that I found out my mom had cancer. I was going through all of that in high school, family stuff, and just being a teenager and growing up and trying to figure out the world, and you have to deal with that every single day, and you're at school every single day like it's a job, and you feel you hate it. And I remember when it would be summers, I'd be so happy because I would be able to be with my family and hang out with my family and not have to see people. And every single time school is gonna start again, I wanted to throw up and I was miserable and I hated having to go back to school just because of the people inside of my school and what I had to deal with those guys and with those girls. In the end of the day, I'm stronger because of it and they don't affect my life anymore. Obviously, it's been so much time and I've met such amazing people. I've stayed friends with such amazing friends, and I'm very proud of the person I was in high school, and I'm very proud of the person I am today because I stayed true to who I was and all the beliefs I believed in, and I am more stronger and confident in myself, and I'm not gonna let people bring me down and stop me from what my goals and dreams are. And I just think that was a time that I had to go through to make me into a better and stronger person than I am today. And I want you to know that if you're going through the same situation or a similar situation, that you're not alone and that it will get better, because I know when I left that toxic environment of high school and all that girl drama and drama in general, I was a much happier person, and I finally felt like I was free and that I was let go, and it was the best feeling in the entire world. And I've made such amazing memories after that, and those people mean nothing to me, and they're just not good people to me. It's not okay, and it was completely wrong. I'm also someone that really believes in female empowerment and being there and uplifting other women. We already have to deal with so many things in the world, and for women to break each other down and bring each other down just makes me so sick, and I just don't stand for that. I just wanted to kind of come up on here and talk to you guys a little bit about my story. I'm sure this is long enough, and I know I've probably missed so many details, and it's really hard to put 4 years into one video and to really share with you guys how I felt at that time. But I hope that this could give you guys some insight, and I hope this story could help anyone. Like I said, if you guys want to talk to me on my Instagram, you can. It's at NicolettaXOYT. But that's gonna be it for today. If you guys have any questions or anything, I could always maybe do a video on that. Thank you guys for listening to my story and giving me that time and the platform. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe and join my family. I would love that. I upload every single week. And on that note, I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!